Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to come on here real quick and make a small batch of Christmas cards. I realized the other day that I haven't made Christmas cards in about 2 months. So I need to catch up to make sure to have the batch for my annual Christmas card donation ready. So I'm going to be using this Christmas Farmhouse paper pad by Craftsmart. And this is one I bought back in 2019 from Michaels. And I'm also going to be using the 12 by 12 template number 4 by Jess Crafts from jesscrafts.com. And I'll be sure to link her in the description box below. Now, Jess has wonderful templates to use with your 12 by 12 papers, your 6 by 6 papers, your 8 by 8 papers to make slimline cards, mini slimline cards, A2 size cards, just a wide variety to choose from in all her sketches. So I have them all printed out and in my binder of card sketches. And I decided I would use this one and make a few cards. Now, I did cut up some of the papers already that I'll be using, but we'll cut up one more sheet together so you can see how easy it is to follow this sketch. So I'm going to go ahead and use this green paper, and I'll bring in my new toy. It is the Tim Holtz rotary cutter. And I have been using it for about a week now, and so far I'm liking it. I've been able to cut vellum, chipboard, my patterned paper, cardstock, all with nice, clean, accurate cuts. So as you can see, this is a pretty easy sketch to follow. You're going to cut your pieces at 3 by 4. So we're going to start by cutting 4 strips at 3 inches. So since we're starting at 12, we'll back it up to 9 and make our first cut. And then we'll back it up to 6, make our next cut. And finally back it up to 3 and make our last cut. And this way we have 4 3-inch strips. So then I'll rotate one of those strips, and again we're starting with a 12-inch length, so we'll back it up to 8 to give me my first 4-inch piece. And the wonderful thing about this trimmer is you can use the top or the bottom for the ruler. So for this one I'm going to come down to the bottom. So I'm cutting at 8 and then back it up to 4. And I have 3 of my 3 by 4 inch pieces. Oh, I have to stop for a moment. My 4-month-old grandson just woke up from his nap, and since I'm babysitting, I need to go take care of him. But I'll cut up the rest of these pieces and be right back. As you can see on the sketch, there are some pieces that are cut at the diagonal, and those are on the background. And then the 3 by 4 piece is matted and layered on top of those. So I've decided I'm going to use for my diagonal pieces, I'll use the green and the red plaid papers. And then for the front pieces, I'll use these 2 prints. Now I am using 4 different sheets of patterned paper. Now this template is designed to use 1 piece of patterned paper, and it actually would be perfect to use with double-sided patterned paper. But I am going to go ahead and use my 4 pieces and make 4 times the amount of cards. So for these, you're just cutting from corner to corner at the diagonal. And you could measure to make sure that the long side is at 4 inches and that the short side is at 3 inches. But I just kind of eyeball these and cut from corner to corner to get my diagonal cut. And then I'll just keep them together so that I'll be sure to use this pair together on my card. And then here's an example. I can use the green pattern paper on the front of those and mat that on some colored cardstock. Now I was just going to use some plain cardstock for my matting layer, but I remembered that I have this paper pad from Craftsmart, and it's some Christmas embossed paper, and it has several different embossed patterns and colors in there. And I haven't really used it, so I thought, you know what, let me at least use this for my matting layer. So I have my pieces all cut and sorted. So now I'm gonna just kind of put them in piles of sets, and then I'll assemble the cards.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents. But it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. Last year I thought about how things can come around just like that if everyone...
So let's assemble two cards together. So we'll start with this one, and I'll put the diagonal pieces directly on my card base. Then the mat goes on top of that, and then the top layer on your 3x4 pattern paper. And I'm planning to stamp a bunch of Christmas sentiments, maybe on a circle and putting them on here, or perhaps going through my many Christmas sentiment dies and using those. But let me just put the cards together first, and then we'll decide what sentiments to add to the front at the end. Now for these corner pieces, I am going to use my Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, because liquid glue helps me to get to right into the corners so that I'm sure that these corner pieces stay adhered just right. And it also gives me a little bit of wiggle room.
To have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside and just enjoy this moment of peace.
And then something else you could do here is pop up this layer on some foam tape to add some dimension. Now I'm not going to do that on these because I want to get through them quickly, but that is something else you could do to change the sketch up just a little bit. Now, as you can see, those two cards came together pretty quickly. So let me put the rest together off camera, and I'll be right back to show you my completed cards. Alrighty, my friends, I have completed my cards using the 12 by 12 template number 4 by Jess Crafts. And what I decided to do in the end for the sentiments was I found these sheets of pre-printed sentiments, and I bought these at Simon Says Stamp a couple of years ago. And so I thought, let me use these because I have this ivory color, this black one, green, I had a red one. So what I did was add some of those. Now on these I did do some ink blending with my Gina K Warm Cocoa so that they would match more closely to the color of the matte layer. And then for these I left it on that ivory color cardstock. And I did use some white on some of these cards as well. And then for the ones with a green mat, I used the green pre-printed sentiments. Did a little bit of ink blending over those with some Christmas pine to get them closer to that shade of green. Also used some green and white on these. And then for the cards with a red matte layer, I did use the red pre-printed sentiments. So all in all, using 4 sheets of 12 by 12 pattern paper, I was able to complete 24 Christmas cards. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents. But it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. This year I'll think about how I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way.